1. I stare at the door set into the Gothic archway of the church a moment before my hand wraps around the simple brass doorknob. There's a conflict between the doorway and the knob. Simple versus complex. Like me, in a way. At eye level sits a wreath, full and fresh. Not one of the fake ones bought at a crafts store, reeking of scented pine cones, but real and alive. It hangs here, a bit of festivity to spruce up the boring door and the even more boring reason I'm here. Okay, support group isn't always boring. Sometimes I can relate to the others, and when I've had a rough week, it's almost cleansing, like I'm actually going to a sermon here rather than into the basement. Lately, though, the process has felt a bit repetitive, something I have to go to rather than something I want to. More often than not, I sit in the chair, drowning out all the things happening around me with thoughts of where else I could be and what else I could be doing. I push the thoughts away and make my way inside. As usual, there are 5 chairs in the circle. 4 for the people like me, and 1 for the support leader, Destiny, who I suppose is also like me. She's a woman of about 35 with a compulsive need to do things in a certain order. According to her, she's had the same routine every day for the last decade and hasn't detoured once. I try to imagine how that could be possible, but find that any extended time put into thoughts of her life makes me sad. Even though we're both affected with OCD, I feel bad for her. I can't imagine living the same day over and over again. Doesn't it ever get dull? I don't know why I'm so judgmental. I'm not one to talk. I sit in the plastic chair by the window like I always do, chewing my nails down to the quick. OCD and anxiety is a cruel mixture sometimes, but the seat helps. It's the only one that offers a good look outside, at the fresh snow that's just beginning to fall. Outside, I can feel the Christmas spirit, but in here, I only feel depression. My reasons for being here once a week. There is no cheering up the feeling of this basement, no matter how many Christmas decorations Destiny uses. The other 3 chairs fill in as my brothers and sisters in compulsion, Brayden, Serena, and Alice, file into their respective seats. I nod and smile at each of them, but my mind is divided with thoughts as Destiny begins the meeting. All I can think about is how I usually go to work directly after a support group, but today that's not an option. Today presents something that people like me are completely uncomfortable with. Change. I try to ignore the uncomfortable wiggle in my stomach that the thought alone creates and glance at Destiny. I see her lips moving but hear none of the words coming out. It's like everything is underwater as I run through my thoughts. What in the world would Destiny do if she were in my shoes? How would she go on if someone told her she could no longer lead these support meetings? Erica! Her voice pops my bubble and pulls me back to attention. My eyes widen as I focus on her. I don't even have it in me to pretend that I've been listening. How are you doing this week? She asks. I sigh. This week has been heated, dreadful, and the free time has given me too big of an opportunity to fall back into my habits, the bad ones that this group is intended to stop. Even though this is the place to admit all that, I don't want to. I've always considered myself the strongest of all of us. I guess we always see ourselves as the hero of our own stories, but being honest leaves me feeling less than everyone else, even though I know I shouldn't. Good, I lie and run my fingers together 3 times. Destiny watches the tiny movement, and as soon as I see her eyes on my hands, I tuck them together, which earns a frown from her. Erica, this is a safe place. You don't have to feel ashamed. Now, I feel worse than I had a moment ago. I've been with this group for a little less than a year now, so her words are not news to me. I pretend to smile at the comment anyway, like no one has ever offered me such wisdom. The smile doesn't last. It's been a rough week, I admit, dropping my chin. I lost my job because, well, Serena, seated in the chair next to me, reaches out to place her hand on my knee. The touch is encouraging, and I appreciate the effort, but I wonder how long I have to wait before it's considered acceptable to move her hand away. I take too long in my morning routine, and I was almost always late to work, I admit. I tried getting up early on multiple occasions, but it seemed like that just made it worse. Serena's lips pull downward at my words, and her tiny fingers grip tighter. I wince and take the opportunity to pull her hand off. She gives me an apologetic look, and I wonder if she realizes how strong she really is. "I'm sorry, but why wouldn't they just accommodate your schedule?" she asks. I shrug, eyes dragging from her to the floor. I have a safe box in the back of my mind where I try to hold on to questions like that. Questions that could stress me out or cause me pain from a situation long past. Hers is one I had kept under lock and key. Now it's free, and not just for me to ponder, but for an entire room of people. Have they no compassion? It's almost Christmas. Alice chimes in her disgust of the normal world outside this room. Beside her, Braden nods along. My eyes stay fixated on the same floorboard as I listen to them all voice their opinion. Wanting the subject to change, I add, "I've been working on my yoga and drawing to help me clear my mind." Destiny bobs her head and writes something on the pad of paper on her lap. "Good, that's good. Anything in particular?" I shake my head. "They're all, abstract, I guess," I murmur, thinking of the charcoal shadow drawing I had done in my last class. They give me a round of applause, but I wonder if I really deserve it. Then Destiny's attention turns away. "Braden, you're awfully quiet today. How has your week been?" I'm glad to feel the spotlight fall off of me. I smile at Braden encouragingly, even though I don't hear a word he says, as I go back to tuning the world out. I handle everyone in the same manner, and I'm nothing but grateful when the support group is over this time. I pick up my bag and try to beat everyone to the door like I do every week. Serena, filled with bouncing curiosity, the same kind you see in 5-year-olds, stops me at the door. "Hey, I'm really sorry to hear about your job," she says, hand on my shoulder. Why does she keep touching me? I shrug it off because I don't know what else to do. It's okay. It's not like I plan to work there forever anyway. I don't wait for Serena's reply before I walk ahead, going through the door and out into the cold December day. My words to her are the truth. I hated the job. It was one routine that I am not sad to see go. Yet, I'm sad just the same.